Is James Harden taking shots at his former LA Clipper teammates? Probably not. That's not typically how that goes. But I mean, there are a couple things that he says here. Well, really something specific that you can kind of point to if you wanted to take that approach. So we're going to cover it here today. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure that thumbs up and subscribe because 80% of viewers are missing out on content from the Basketball Bulletin here by not being subscribed. So make sure that that is not you. And make sure, again, you click that subscribe button. It is free and it does help us tremendously with growing the channel. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about all this. But James Harden, the difference between this and last year's Clippers team is the personnel. You guys know. You know the players we had last year. Now, I'd be first to say that, like, and I'll probably in a moment here see if I can pull up something, but a lot of times these quotes are taken out of context and stuff like that. So I don't think that he's really trying to say anything inflammatory about his teammates. But I would like to say that obviously the big thing is there are some other players, but most notably, PG is missing. Russ is missing. And both of those guys were a huge part of what the team did last year, for better or worse. And the team obviously didn't perform to the standards that they thought they were going to achieve, being, I believe, the 4th seed last year and extremely good on offense as well. Yeah, looking at it here, the Clippers were 12th in points, 10th in opponents' points. They were the 4th best offense in offense rating, 17th in defense, and the 7th best net rating. And they finished 7th of 30 with 49 and 33 record. So they had a pretty good year. Finished 4th in the West. So finished pretty good last year. Definitely were outperforming the current Clippers this year, and they're mostly on the same pace. I think it's a 1-win difference. But really, what's changed over the course of the last year is the focus. They've gone from being the more of an offensive team to being the 3rd best defense. And otherwise, I mean, it's mostly just flipped, like 17th now in offense versus 3rd in defense, 6th in net rating, points versus opponents. Points have also been flipped also. And so that's mostly what's changed here. And again, they're on a similar trajectory in terms of the record, although it's probably about a 1-win pace, assuming that they are 1-win separate pace, assuming that they win out from here. But I don't know if that'll happen. They're 7th in the West because the West is ridiculous. But yeah, that's the main thing that's kind of shifted. And they've got some huge production from some of their role players as well, like Zubac. He may be in line for a team this year, this award season. We'll see what happens with him. Powell was probably going to be the front runner and winner of most improved, but I don't think he'll qualify anymore due to the games limit. And Kawhi has been awesome as of late, and Harden's been very steady and good all year long for them. But guess what? We do have the clip, and here we go.
Compare this to last year around this time as you guys were gearing up for the playoffs.
It's just different. It's just different. Different team.
Do you feel the way that you guys are playing? You know, how does it feel on the court? Like, because you guys look incredible on the court on both ends of the floor. Like,
I think. Sorry, but, it's just different. It's a different team. Like, we got guys that knows, their role and know what they're supposed to be doing, consistently on a 99 basis, like from the beginning of the season. You know what I mean? So it's a different team.
What do you feel like makes it different this year as opposed to last year?
Personnel. I mean, you guys know, like the players that we had last year. So, I mean, it's a different team.
I gotta say, the clip doesn't sound much better. The clip doesn't, because he doesn't maybe they cut right before he elaborates, but I'll be honest, the clip does not sound much better. Basically, his big point is that they slot much better, which is true. I mean, and also he had another clip that I'm not going to show here, where he was talking about just the continuity that these guys with the current roster, like him and Zubac, have been able to build because they've been playing together for the past year. And Harden's been there and got, that camaraderie, continuity with guys like him and Kawhi, some of the holdovers from last year, of course. And like I said, Zubac has been great. Powell's been great too. And you could maybe make the argument that last year's roster had maybe too many guys that it was really hard to define what they wanted to do. And, Harden is a lot of things, but I'll say that I actually like to give Harden a lot of credit for the way that he's been able to be a bit of a basketball chameleon out there. This is a guy that averaged 36 points per game, 34 points per game, 6, 7, 8 years ago. And now, last year, he was averaging 16.6 points, by the way, which is ridiculous. But some of that's just because he took 11 shots per game, or at least 11 registered ones. He still took 7 free throws. So, that's a little bit, it's not exactly right. But his shot volume went way down, right? And so he was off the ball a lot more. He turned into more of a playmaker, short roll guy, catch and shoot guy, all these other little things. And he's been able to adapt his game. And basically, ever since that Brooklyn Nets trade away from Houston, he's turned more into like a pure point guard. Since then, he's had 4 seasons, it looks like, where he's averaged 10 assists plus. And he's done that before in his career. Like, he had a season where he averaged 11 assists and 29 points, but the volume of shooting is down. The free throws are down a tick. The shots overall is down, but he's still able to play at a high level and give you mostly what you need. And he's only giving you, a few turnovers a night. So, to be fair, the turnovers are kind of high this year at 4, but that's mostly in line with his career, to be fair, as well. 1.5 steals. So, like, Harden's a lot of things, but I think that he's been able to adapt his game very well to a lot of different play styles. And he's not so much of that I am the system heliocentric type of player. Think LeBron back more so in his prime, Luka now. Like, he's not so much that anymore as he is, like I said, more of a point guard guy that sets up. And he was an all-star this year, and he's been awesome. He's played 75 games this year, 72 last year, gone back to being really healthy after a couple seasons where it was kind of up and down for him. And, I do think that Harden has been a humongous piece to what they're doing. I talked briefly about the other guys, of course, but I also briefly mentioned Kawhi and his production. And so Kawhi is interesting because I still don't have a lot of faith, unfortunately, in what Kawhi, what Kawhi will be for the rest of the season, because he is somebody that around this time of the year, unfortunately, sometimes winds up getting hurt. I don't think he's played in most of their playoff games since he's been a Clipper. But that being said, I mean, he's been awesome. And if we look at some of the recent production from him, on the season, 31 minutes. So minutes are down. The lowest number in the last 6 years, basically since his last season in San Antonio where he got hurt. So 31 minutes per game. So less load on him, but still hyper efficient, 50% from the field, 40 from 3, 80% from free throw line, giving you 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 21 points, 1.5 steals, half a block there. So Kawhi is contributing, but I wanted to show his game log. And really, Kawhi had a stretch where like his minutes were a little bit lower. He wasn't playing as great, but now we see what he's able to do here. These are some of his more recent games. And Kawhi, even the game against Dallas, 29, 6-3, 20, 6-2, 28, 3-3, 21, 8-2, 31, 60. He had 3 straight games of 10 plus rebounds and 20 points, 20 plus points. Like, Kawhi has really rounded into form. And as you see, the Clippers have been winning most of their games out there that Kawhi has been eligible to play in. And I believe he's played in pretty much all their games for a while now. So I've got to say, man, like, I think that the Clippers are very good. And I do think that they're going to be a tough out. I mean, the West is hyper competitive. So that does mean that the Clippers are in a weird position because they've got all these wins, but they may still be in the play-in. But to be fair, even teams as high as the 3rd seed are still in play-in range because of the way that the West is this year. And here's that other clip I was referencing. We're not going to play it, but yeah, Harden basically talks about how good Zubac is and the way that they've been able to build that continuity. And also he says, and this Clint catches a stray, but he's like, he's more better offensively than Clint was, which is mostly true, right? Clint was more of a dump off guy, lob guy, around the basket guy. Zubac can be that, and he could be more. Zubac's got a great soft touch. He's just able to knock in anything around there. He got a great mid-post game, flashes a jumper a little bit. So I really like Zubac a lot. He's been able to really, really progress his game, and he's just an awesome player, in my opinion, as well. It's only been almost 2 years. What I did with Clint, it was 5 to 6 years, and Zoo is way more skilled offensively than Clint. He caught a lob today, but that's not even like I'm getting to the rim, and it's not even a lob. If he was able to jump even a little bit higher, he'd have 10 more points. That's probably true too. Like I think there's some credibility to that. So overall, I think that the Clippers have done an awesome job with, changing what they've been, from being one of the best offenses to being one of the best defenses, maintaining year over year that high net rating. And because of the defense, I think the defense is more sustainable, averaging a flat 110 defensive rating for opponents. I think that's more sustainable, and these guys are going to be pretty good. I do think, though, I will say that there are questions about the way that their offense looks now and what they're going to be able to do in the playoffs and things slow down. It's going to put more pressure on James Harden, and it's going to put more pressure on a Kawhi. It's going to put more pressure on a Powell to be able to score and execute in the half court. And that's going to be something they're going to have to do if they want to make their way out. And the good news is that's mostly already what they do. They're 20th in pace. Like, they don't run up and down or all this other stuff. They run selectively when they get the opportunity. And so they're already kind of playing that way. So really, you know what it is? There's probably opportunity for growth if they start running on more opportunities, being more than the 20th best points per game team. So we'll see what happens with the Clippers. But if this is your first time here, make sure you stick around and subscribe to the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure you check out our earlier video today from Trevor if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys over there.